Now, before we welcome our next speaker, I'd like to invite everyone to take a breath with me. Breathe in and breathe out. Biochemical processes that sustain life are profound and beautiful. They begin with the simple act of breathing. Through personal stories of fear and loss, Run, our next speaker, will connect the unseen mechanisms of cells and DNA to our deepest human experiences. Let's welcome her.
Imagine, for a moment, the simple act of breathing. What if I told you that with every breath, you're participating in the molecular miracle that has sustained life on Earth for billions of years? This process, so automatic and yet so complex, is driven by the biochemistry within us. Each day, you breathe approximately 22,000 times. So, aren't you curious on what's actually happening inside your body? Let's dive deeper into what happens every time you take a breath. As oxygen moves into your lungs and diffuses into your bloodstream, a special protein in your red blood cell called hemoglobin captures 4 oxygen molecules at once. There, your heart pumps the oxygenated blood all across your body, making sure that your organs, tissue, and cells have enough oxygen to keep us going. Now, let's talk about how our body actually creates energy from oxygen. This process is called respiration. You can think of it like fueling a car. Just as a car needs gasoline to run, your body needs oxygen to create energy. And this is a natural process and it's happening within you right now. But what is actually respiration? I'll break it down step by step, and this might look really complex, but it's actually very logical. The initial step to this is glycolysis. You can think of it as breaking down food in your cells, and that cutting large logs into smaller pieces of wood. Then comes the Krebs cycle, where those smaller pieces get broken down even further, releasing energy bit by bit, just like burning wood for warmth. Then finally, the electron transport chain. This is where the energy is converted into a form that your body can use, like storing heat energy from a fire into battery, ready to power everything you do, from thinking, talking, walking, or even sleeping. This process works together seamlessly, and yet we rarely pay attention to any of this. Now, please close your eyes and imagine touching something incredibly hot. In that instant, without even thinking, your hands pull away before you realize what happened. You can open your eyes now. This signal doesn't even go to your brain. It instead went to your spinal cord, which sent a message back to your muscle to pull away. Molecules are slipping across nerves pathways, signaling cells to respond in seconds. This is the same biochemistry we rarely stop to notice. While our bodies are incredibly resilient, they're also fragile. All these life-sustaining mechanisms, all these intricate biochemical processes are vulnerable and will eventually come to an end. A single genetic mutation, an environmental toxin, or simply just a passage of time can disrupt these systems, leading to illness and eventually death. This is the truth I struggled with from a very young age. I couldn't fathom that my grandmother wouldn't come back and that death is permanent. Growing up in the Buddhist family, I've always been told that death is just a natural part of life. But doesn't it seem so unfair that something as fragile as life could be taken away from us so easily? Leading me to my biggest fear, which has always been losing someone I love. I question the permanence of death. Driven by fear and the desperate need for answer, I turn to the world of science. Reading the book called Lifespan by Dr. David Sinclair has opened my eyes to a groundbreaking idea and how aging is not inevitable, but rather a disease. It sounds just like a dream, doesn't it? A future where aging is a choice, not a certainty. A biochemical process that can be delayed or even treated. As much as I hope for that future, what about the reality right now? My younger self still finds it so difficult to cope with the concept of death. Until one day, I came across a conception of death for Buddhists. It's a simple analogy of wave in the ocean. And this has changed my perception about everything completely. Picture a wave in the ocean. The moment you're born is just like the beginning of the waves. You can see that it's there, you can measure its height, and you know it exists. As we grow older and live our life, the waves also increase in height, become more strong, powerful, and move closer to the shore. But then the waves crashes into the shore, and it's gone, just like the moment you die. But the water is still there, and the waves is just a different form of water. This concept actually aligns beautifully with the fundamental scientific principle, the conservation of energy. The principle stated that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change its form. Through this fusion of scientific knowledge and the Buddhism background, I've come to see that while we may fear loss and impermanence, they're integral to the beauty and continuity of life. Just as waves are part of the ocean, we're part of a larger, ever-evolving system. This understanding, this appreciation for the perpetual nature of life led me to pursue biochemistry. As I learn more about how molecular mechanisms sustain life, I found some sense of control in this complexity and see that it's actually beautiful how all of these biochemical processes connect us all together. Biochemistry has deepened my appreciation and love for life and the people that I care about. It has shown me that we're just part of an interconnected system, one that's constantly in motion, one that's constantly evolving. It's a field that is both humbling and inspiring, a discipline that connects the most fundamental aspect of life to the grandest question of existence, always uncovering new mysteries, always learning more about the world around us. This never-ending cycle of changes drives me to continue exploring, learning, and sharing what I found with others. In this case, what I find is that what most people fear isn't death, but the concept of dying and the process of dying itself. People believe that this process will be painful, prolonged, and reduce the quality of life. This understanding shapes not only how I see the world, but how I intend to contribute to it. Rather than simply aiming to live longer, my goal is to help people live better. What truly matters isn't how long you live, but how much quality you can bring to those years. I think that achievement can be attained at any age. Whether you're 10, 30, 60, or 90, there's potential for greatness, growth, and discovery. The key is to be able to enjoy life without regrets. And it's not just about adding years to your life, but ensuring that those years are filled with purpose. Lastly, at the heart of this system is DNA, the molecules that make us who we are. DNA shapes everything from the color of your eyes to the vulnerability of certain disease. And your DNA is unique to you. It's a molecular code written in 4 simple letters, A, T, G, and C, which contain all of the information that your body needs to make and sustain life. But DNA is more than just a blueprint of life. It's the connection to the past, to our ancestors, and to countless generations that have come before us. It's a reminder that we're a part of a larger story, one that stretches back billions of years and will continue long after we're gone. Now, I want you to take a moment and appreciate this incredible process that are unfolding within you. Remember, you're participating in a molecular miracle, and that you are a miracle. Thank you.